We're going to take a look at Bring Me the Horizon Kingslayer featuring BABYMETAL, which was one of the first collabs that I had ever heard, and one of my favorite collabs. Definitely one of my favorites. And I was thinking about it. We never really talked about the song in detail or took a deep dive into it, because at that time, Eric and I, when we were doing the channel, we were just doing reactions to it. So I was thinking in my head, I'm like, it'd be cool to break down the tracks to this. So I got them all broken down and everything and ready to go. We're gonna like check out some of the stuff. I forgot how different Sue's vocals are on this track. Very, very different than what she does on other tracks, but it's really cool to hear like how different she makes her voice for different songs. Also, this was a while ago. This is what, like 4 years ago now, almost 5 years ago since this song has came out. So that's pretty long time ago. And you know, people get better and better over time, especially somebody like Sue, who's always improving her vocals. And it's just cool hearing it. But she's using a completely different tone in this, and we're going to highlight that today on this song. And I just forgot. It's been a minute since I listened to it. I used to listen to this track all the time, but it's been a while since I've heard it. So it's pretty cool to hear it. Now, the thing with this track, it came about because, right, something in 2015 they met up or something like that. You know, and then Bring Me the Horizon opened up for BABYMETAL in 2019, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I know that's how this track had came about, and it was during the whole pandemic time frame too. All right, let's do this. Let's check this out. So we're just gonna listen through it and just like point out some things that I was even listening today. I was listening even deeper and I was thinking in my head, I'm like, wow, there's so many little nuances that happen in this song that I didn't even think about. So like out the gate, what I was noticing was all the different nuances that were happening here, even with like the little effects and stuff with the guitars. That riff is completely covered. And it's kind of funny because it's very similar style to the Slaughter to Prevail riff, which is a lot of single note kind of riffage going on like that. Those little effects in there are just so wow. I was trying to separate this as best as I could, trying to do multiple different ways to get this, and I was like, wow, there's so much sound design just happening here. What is that noise going on? Like, it always blows my mind when people come up with sound design like this. It's just wild. And I gotta say too, this is my favorite type of Ollie. It really is. And this is not because BABYMETAL's in it. I swear, it's not because BABYMETAL's in it. Maybe a little bit, but it is my favorite song off of this album. I don't know, it's just very refreshing when this song comes up on the album. It is so refreshing compared to the other ones. The other ones feel very similar to each other, which is nothing wrong with that. A lot of bands do that, but when the BABYMETAL one comes on, it's wildly different than the rest of the album. In my opinion, it's just very refreshing when this comes up, this song, when you're listening to that full album. I like Bring Me the Horizon, but I'm definitely not the biggest fan. I like songs here and there.
On the side, doing nothing ever seems quite right. I've in the belly, get the fuck up.
I just love the range of vocals that he just went from the beginning of here to this part of the song. It's just wild.
On the side, doing nothing ever seems quite right.
And this is something I love about Bring Me the Horizon mixes, is this type of style right here on more the laid back, just singing approach. You got this really cool saturation that's happening on the vocals, and it just emphasizes Ollie's vocals really well, in my opinion, and it cuts through all the like digital sounds that we have going on in the song.
For the other side, doing nothing ever seems quite right.
So he's essentially like taking up all this extra highs that we had in the guitars before, so it's keeping all the frequencies balanced as we're continuing on the song, because we have the guitar that's right here with the bass, because a lot of the stuff strips back so those vocals can go high. And then you get that break right there. And that's really cool that everything just dials it back. And a lot of bands forget to do that, especially ones that are starting up. They always want to play a lot of stuff while the vocals are going on. And like some better style songwriting is not to do as much stuff underneath the vocals. Typically, of course, there's always those outliers. When we hear like Brand New Day with Baby Metal or listen to some of their more technical songs, you'll hear a technical guitar underneath. But if you notice the technical guitar underneath the vocals, they still dial it back to a different frequency. They normally go to a lower guitar sometimes, or they'll do a little bit of a higher guitar tone and lower the volume. Wait, let's hear that guitar riff right here. I just love this. I like how it's like a cleaner tone and then distortion. Just puts emphasis on the vocal. A lot of people did not like this vocal style when it came out for Sue. They, blamed it on a lot of the over processing and stuff that they did on her voice. I thought it worked great with the song. It fits what we're trying to go for in this mix. I absolutely loved it. Also, she is singing more nasally specifically for this song, and that's intentionally for this. It just makes it sound really, the nasal sound sounds better with these type of frequencies when you're mixing. You can hear it, how she's enunciating the vocals like that. And it's so crazy because I can't think of another song where she really relies on that mask. Like she's pushing the sound in the front of her face. And that's how you get that more like, and if you go, you do that to get a brighter sound on your vocals. But if you go too far, you get this. Or a great example of that is Green Day, where he's full in the face when he's singing like,
Kingslayer, come and collect us from night.
Oh, that sounds so good. Like those harmonies right there, badass. I didn't even realize that little part of Ollie's vocals was there. Momo Metal has similar screams. Very similar screams to Ollie's right here. Oh, there's my second vocal track. I was wondering where the second one was. There's the harmony right here. It's by far one of the most unique covers that Baby Metal has. It's definitely up there as the most unique one of the better sounding ones in my opinion. And it doesn't even feel like a feature of Baby Metal. This was one of the things we talked about back then. This was more of it feels very even. I know it isn't because it's just Baby Metal's vocals, where this was produced, I think, more on the Bring Me the Horizon side of things. It just feels like a good mix between both of them. It doesn't just feel like a feature. It feels like a good, like, even collab between both of them. Like, that's how I feel like. Because, a lot of Bring Me the Horizon sounds is something that you'd probably hear in Baby Metal songs, too. Which is a good mix-up. A very good mix-up. If we, compare it to, Slaughter to Prevail that came out, which is, a whole completely different style. I was breaking down that track the other day even further, and it's so cool. It's so crazy how different, that song is compared to this song. Just complete different styles of mixing altogether. They just approach it in a completely different way. Up until the guitars, to the vocals, to the drums, it's an entirely different sound. So that's why it's really cool to hear the differences between these songs and how much we change up our styles when it comes to even production side of things. And that's a lot to deal with the different people on the team and changing them out. And they always interchange different people. So you're definitely going to get different sounds. Plus, even for myself, when I'm mixing a song, every song I mix is going to sound different. We always improve something or change something. Sometimes it gets worse. It's really cool that Slaughter to Prevail pulled off getting that ring sound on the snare and not make it sound obnoxious. They did the whole Metallica snare sound, but made it work. I don't know how they pulled that one off, but it was very, 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 very cool. I have over 100 Baby Metal reactions to the left of the screen, so click there if you want to check that out. And I have a bunch of Baby Metal covers to the right of the screen. Click there if you want to check those out. See you all in the next one. See you.